Angie Halliwell here from the Natural Genius Academy, self-mastery and performance coach, professional speaker and trainer. So I've been inspired to conduct a series of interviews with inspirational people, and specifically for International Women's Day, I'm going to be interviewing a series of inspirational women. So here with me today is Zai Miztiq, and Zai has an incredible backstory, and I'm really excited that she could make it here today to share that with you. And on the back of this amazing backstory that she's going to share with us today of what really changed her life around as she knew it, she has become a bestseller of her books, not just once but twice. And she's also an international speaker, and she has been training and empowering women and girls across the globe. So I'm sure that you're really curious and excited to find out more about Zai in this interview, so stay tuned.
Hi.
Hi, Zai.
Hi.
I'm very excited that you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming along to talk to me.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what you're doing these days. Like, what are you doing now?
Okay, so as you said, I've written 2 books, Turn Your Passion into Profits and 5 Things I Love About Being a Woman. So I do a lot of coaching, a lot of mentoring, but my present focus would be to do corporate trainings and to work with international schools. And my main focus would be to share topics on cultivating compassion and conversation, because I think that's really lacking. Like, we talk about personal branding, business coaching and everything. I mean, those are important topics, but when to go back into the heart of who you truly are, humanizing brands and branding humans, I think we need to work on that. Yeah.
Yes, nice. So, where to start? I think it would be good to find out what kind of drives you, what motivates you, because there's always a bigger why behind successful people. You don't just simply do what you do for no purpose and no reason. There is something behind that. There is a bigger vision or a bigger mission that you're out there in the world trying to do.
Yes.
So what is that for you, Zai?
I think what motivated me to start this motivational training company since the last 5 years, like before I was doing entrepreneurship, I was doing henna art. I lived in Japan teaching henna art. It was super fun. And then I met an accident, fractured, dislocated my spine. Doctor said I will never be able to walk anymore. Somehow I picked myself up, started my own online business, I traveled a bit more. I was in Jordan, Morocco, Yemen for 2 years, picked up Arabic. And then Arabic, the language, not aerobics. People trying to get confused. You go to Middle East to learn Arabics, and I'm like, no, Arabic,
We have that in Singapore.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. So I was learning Arabic. I came back, but all of that act was always about what I wanted to do, about my passion, about my, it's about me, myself, and I. Somehow when I came back from Yemen, even before I came back, there was this like magic mantra that made me realize my life purpose and my true calling, and it was like serving God is in serving His creation. So when that like struck me, and I'm like, so what do I do now? What's next, right? And so when I came back, I was looking for inspiration and speaking to people, and then I realized how depressed people are. Like, everyone's just looking at their phones, nobody's speaking to anyone much, and people are not happy. So that kind of, it was very disturbing, if you know what I mean. And then I'm like, what do? I don't know how to help, but let me see. And people started questioning me, like, hey Zai, how do you travel so much? How do you bounce back after your accident and stuff? But the magic call that I had was very inspirational and life-changing. So there's this follower on Facebook, a lady, she wrote to me and she's like, hey Zai, can I speak to you? So I'm like, okay, let me call you. At that time they didn't have messenger calls. So I was like, let me call you. So I called her, spoke to her, and in the first 10 minutes, she went like, Zai, thanks for speaking to me. I was just thinking of committing suicide.
Wow.
So when that call came in, I'm like, what I said was true. I cannot, it was not about henna or selling online like hijab, like all these shawls and makeup and all this thing anymore. I had to do something. I had to step up my game. Someone reached out to me, which means there's many more out there who would need this help.
Yes.
So that's how I started writing and and then start speaking and running my training programs and stuff.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, it's like you say, it's like a little sign or a signal or a calling.
Big
that's come to
sign,
you,
yeah.
Because you didn't know this person.
No.
No. Wow.
We met once, but just like a random event.
Yes.
So that's how we got connected. And then that phone call, and until today we haven't spoken. So it was like really a big sign. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you said a little bit about your backstory in terms of the accident that happened, but this, at the time, there must have been an awful lot that you had to contend with and deal with as all of this was going on in your mind about what was next, and those kind of things make you reflect.
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about how you were able to kind of find that inner strength and courage to overcome that period of time?
Which period was that? The accident or?
Yeah, the accident and finding, I guess, your path.
Okay.
Because that was kind of sounds like the kind of start of the turnaround, the
Actually,
change.
the accident itself didn't quite transform me. Surprisingly, when I look back, because like when it happened, I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I was in denial. So that was like, okay. But of course I went for physio and I had to do some back strengthening exercise.
Yes.
A year into the accident. So it happened on 22nd April 2005. A year into my rebirth day.
Yes.
That was when I said, hey, why didn't I actually die in that accident? Why am I still here? What's my purpose of being, Why was I even created? So that was a very good sounding board for me to like wake up. So that was when I started to be on a search for God. Like, there was that running back to God season. And it was very magical because there's a quote by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. It says in Arabic, "Man arafu nafsuhu faqad arafu rabbuhu." Whoever who knows himself knows his Lord.
Yes.
And Mother Teresa also said that how do you believe in a God that you don't see when you don't believe in yourself that you see? Something like that, And I'm like, that's so true. If you don't know yourself, you don't believe in yourself, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So that's when I went on a journey on strengths finding.
Yes.
And I got introduced to Gallup Strengths Finder.
Yes.
A childhood friend of mine, she works there, and she said, you know what, I think you're ready for this. Let me do this test and stuff. And when I found my strengths, my top 5 strengths, I had number 1 empathy, positivity, ideation, and I'm like, oh my God, it was a revelation.
Yeah.
It wasn't a labeling. It's like I understand why I think, feel, behave a certain way, and I started appreciating, respecting myself for who I am. Yeah, and so of course I invested a lot of money to be the coach, and that was useful because I had to go through that lost identity process to find myself, and today that's what we are doing, right?
Yes.
Helping people identify their strengths.
Yes.
And diagnosing their purpose with meaning, and then direction, how to move forward. So yeah.
And I think it's always encouraging for people to hear, because they see, not the end product, but they see the person now who's written, books that are bestsellers on Amazon, that is internationally speaking and traveling and training, and people are just like, wow, that's like a different place to where I am.
Yes.
But we have to kind of remind people watching and people sort of understanding our story that it's not always been that way.
No.
That there has been a journey
Of
and
course.
an evolution that has happened to get there. You don't suddenly just wake up and these things have happened.
That's true.
There's our own sort of path that's taken us there, right?
I think it's so important to share that pain point and that struggles.
Yes.
Because like even from before, we always saw people who are, wow, this person is so successful,
Yes.
like I want to be like him or her. But we've never really heard about their struggles and the pain points.
Yes.
So right now when I present, I make sure I include that, because life is not a bed of roses.
Yes.
There are more thorns. No, it's not. It's not. So there are more thorns than roses. But I also met someone yesterday. I was sharing that sometimes we feel like, oh my God, my life is like a living hell. And I said, I feel like I am living on the first level of heaven. I don't know if you believe this, but they said there's 7 levels of heaven. So I choose to believe that. And I said, I am living on the first level of heaven.
Yes.
So how I choose to see and view things is as it is.
Yes.
Heaven or hell, you decide.
Yeah, it's all perspective,
yes.
right? The way that we see things.
Yes.
It's kind of what you're saying.
Totally.
We can choose how we see it. You see it as a living hell, then you're going to get more
hell.
Right? See it differently, it's going to change.
So funny, yeah, yes.
So you talked about that you went through the Gallup strength finding training. So there's obviously some development that you have invested in yourself.
For sure.
What kind of habits or practices do you now embed into your everyday life that keep you, mentally
sound?
Yeah. I was going to say strong, but
you need to keep your sanity to maintain your creativity. I always say that. Well, basically, I'm a big fan of meditation. I tried some yoga. It's a bit tough for me with my spine, but some light yoga is good. So I love how mindfulness is trending. But I think just taking time out, especially like in the early morning when we wake up to pray. So I just take time out.
Yes.
Another thing I'm starting is a cardio exercise because I'm not as skinny as the model that I used to be. I'm like, dude. But yeah, so cardio exercise. I mean, just to keep fit, as long as you're healthy, I think that's good enough.
Yes.
And like before you go to bed, I do some reflective and of course attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
That journaling is so powerful. So you can be grateful or you can continue whining and complaining and nothing's going to change for the world.
Now gratitude is one of those things that it's been shown and proven that it can really elevate our mindset and the way that we see things. But it sounds like such a small thing that people could just maybe I'll do that, or it doesn't sound big enough.
Yes.
Like we have to overcomplicate everything. So can you explain a little bit about the gratitude and how it impacts you, or how it, what you've seen in people that you've worked with, of how it can really change people?
Personally, I think all of us it's easier to complain and blame, right?
We're good at that. We know how to do that.
Professional, So it's easier, right? Like to complain and blame and say, oh, my past and blah blah blah. But if we want to just give thanks, and for example, like I used to have issues with my dad, or I used to think, oh, why is my mom so strategic and so focused and so angry? And not angry, she's very on the go.
Right.
And then I realized that she had no time to be empathetic like me, because she had to raise 6 children single-handedly.
Wow.
So that's why she, you know what I mean? She has no time to be empathetic. And I've never seen her cry.
Yes.
I've never heard her complain, and she's so cool.
Yeah.
So I used to complain like in my heart. Of course, I can't scold my mom, right? But I always say, why is my mom not thinking about how this person feels? Why is she so straight on point? But after at the end of the day, when I start giving thank God, I just thank God. God, thank you so much for my mom and dad. For without them, I will not see the sun or the moon.
Yes. Yeah.
And then everything I have to melt, right? I'm like, okay, it's the truth. Without our parents, we will not see the sun or the moon.
Yes.
So if we want to have a problem with them, they have enough struggles. So what are the good things that we want to see about them? And having worked with maybe most of my clients, 90% of my clients, what is truly stopping us or that blocking us and causing us paralysis is the fact that we haven't made peace with our own parents.
Yes.
So if we cannot do that, find a way to do it. Because with unlimited forgiveness comes unconditional love.
Yes.
And with unconditional love comes unstoppable possibilities.
Yes.
And it worked for me, and I'm very sure it worked for each and every one of you.
Yes. Nicely put.
Yes.
So you kind of touched on this earlier about certainly one person that came into your life very unexpectedly and really kind of changed the course with that call that you had, right?
Oh, for sure, yes.
And I no doubt there's been other people that have presented themselves in fleeting moments, or you've known them for a long or a short time, that have kind of been, a bit of a teacher in some way. You've learned something from them that have influenced you in a positive way.
Okay.
Well, who's some of the most influential people that you have met in your life, and what has it done for you?
So many. I have to give thanks to my coaches and mentors.
Yes.
For without them, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most closest role model, like I said, is my mom. She never complained. She was super strong. Never give up on us. She's never stepped into a school a single day in her life. But she speaks 6 languages. I'm like, how do you do that, ma'am?
Stick with the number 6.
Oh, 6 children, 6 languages. Yeah, maybe move to 6 houses. I don't know, but she loves. Yeah. So and she's so well articulated, very poised, very calm. I think that is one. But one example. Thank you, mommy. And the other one person I think would be one of my mentors. So you know, sometimes we see a role model as someone we want to be like.
Yes.
But this role model of mine, my mentor, very successful, young, multi-millionaire. But when I'm around this person, I tell myself, this is not where I want to be. So even in that that kind of an example that you do not want to be, that is a very powerful accelerated learning, because you don't want to get there and realize, wish I didn't take this path.
Yes.
And you regret.
Yes.
So when I see, I mean, we're not judging, but you know your principles, your values, and how some people are just masking it. You know, they call it the imposter syndrome or whatever. So you know you don't want to get there, and when you see such things, be aware and do not forget who you truly are. Do not lose your sensing, your compass.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that is very important.
Yes, yeah, it sounds like your moral compass kicked in there to say, hey, it's cool that this person's there, but it's not where you need to be.
Yeah, I appreciate them, I respect them, and God bless them for wherever they are, but you do not have to be that.
Yes.
You do not lose your authenticity, your true self.
Yes.
You know, there's this saying, you have to fake it till you make it. You don't have to, just be authentic. Just be your true you. Yeah, just be you to the full.
Yeah,
that's the beauty.
Yes, fake it till you make it. Well, we have some strange sayings, right?
Yeah, fake it till you make it. Like, dude.
This advice.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to go and Google that. Yeah.
So Zai, I truly believe that everybody is a natural genius at something that they have. We all have something inside of us that we have to offer to this world.
Yes.
There's no such thing as somebody that doesn't have something unique and special about them that they were meant to share as their gift in service to the world.
Yes.
For me, that's transformation. I found that out quite late, but I found it. And how about you? What is your natural genius, talents, gifts that you just
too many.
Okay,
I think
we've got some time.
I think there's this confidence booster. When people are around me, they say, "Oh my God, I feel so positive." Like that magic call, right? I feel better right now. I'm like, in 10 minutes, you decide not to commit suicide. That's magical, right?
Yes.
So I don't even remember what I said.
It's an aura, I can feel it.
Yeah. Must be all the meditation. I don't know, but I think okay, let's be serious. Let me think about it. It's a real question. It's a good question. I think helping people see their true potential and helping them get started.
Yes.
Because you know, like I've met many people who are successful and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so inspiring." You're blah 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 blah. I'm like, but yeah, just kickstart me. Like, how do I move forward? Like, I don't know. That was like before, right? Maybe 5-10 years ago.
Yes.
So I wish then I had someone who like saw my potential and said, "Hey, why don't you try this? You know, and then kickstart them." I think that's my gift.
Yes.
And in any negative situation, helping people see the light of things, seeing wisdom in negativity. I mean,
So if there were people watching today that are listening to you and thinking, I really want to step out and do something different, but I also recognize that I doubt myself, I don't have the confidence to go and do something, or there's some kind of fear holding them back, what would you say? What would you share?
I think fear is inevitable. I call it good fear. I know I have 2 kinds of fear. One is fear. The other one is a good fear. So, because fear keeps you in check.
Yes.
You don't just like, okay, whatever, that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, you take calculated risk. But if you want to start something and your heart is so strongly attracted to the idea, ask yourself, what is the worst that can happen? Okay, if you want to start an entrepreneurial journey, it's not easy. It's a lot of hard work. But ask yourself, do I have enough financial safety? Like, how long can I go without working? Maybe 1 year. I'm going to give my best, do it all, and then decide if this is even it for me.
Yes.
Because the last thing we want to do is regret on our dying bed.
Yeah.
Or when we don't have to be dying to regret, but later on,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you have to take the first step first. That's important. And the other thing about fear, I love to share this, is some people fear failure, fear being alone, fear rejection. To me, this was a magical mantra that came. Rejection is God's way of crystallizing the clarity of my path. So when I'm doing something, and like it really happened, like about 5 years before I started this company, so my best friend suddenly just left me, and then there was some, I don't know, just went away, and my mom was very ill, and my helper was like, Miss Zai, I have to leave, I cannot stay on. I'm like, you cannot leave me now. And it's like, things just keep exiting my life.
Yes.
And I'm like, what now? But the truth is, God is crystallizing the clarity of your path. You have to zero that cup for new things to be filled in. And that was when I started writing, and then I started speaking. I was traveling the world, wrote my second book, both became Amazon bestsellers, run my coaching programs, and here I am today.
Yes. So take that first step, is what you're saying.
Yes.
To take that first step,
Yep.
it's going to feel scary.
Yes.
But they're not the only one.
You're
There's
not the
been
only one, yeah.
several people before that.
Yes.
And it depends on what you want. Do you want the fear of failing and then regretting that you never tried? Or do you want to give it a go, and if it didn't work out, at least you know you gave it a go,
Yes.
right?
And there's another part. Some people fear failure. We hear it so commonly. But there's also the fear of success.
Yes.
So when my book became an Amazon bestseller, the first book, my publisher, I remember the Australian lady, she spoke to me, and the moment I put down the phone, I'm like, oh my God, what's next? I am so scared. That was fear of success. I tasted it. I'm like, oh, this is what fear of success is. So breathe in, write your things to do, and move forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think of success as this like happy end point where everything's amazing.
It's a good fear.
Yeah. But there is such a thing that
Yes.
we disguise from ourselves.
Yeah.
We label it as fear of rejection or fear of failing or whatever, but really we're scared of changing so much that we won't be accepted by those that are close to us anymore. That is huge for people, but it's very unconscious.
Yes.
So it's interesting that you brought that up.
Yes. Worrying what people will say, and worrying what I love this thing that I read before. It says, when you're single, they will ask you, why are you not married?
Yes.
When you're married, they will say, hey, why don't you have children?
Yeah.
When you have one, they're like, why one? And when you have 10, they're like, why so many?
Yeah.
So I always say this, until the day you die and in your grave,
Yes.
people will not stop talking.
Yeah. There's a new question.
Yeah,
A new question
they will
each
never
time.
end. It will never end. So it's your choice to like listen to all those, or be clear on your conscience, and be very grounded and founded, and do good.
Yes.
Do good for yourself, and then move forward to heal others.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much, Zai,
Thank
for
you.
coming today to talk to us.
Yes.
I hope you guys have enjoyed our conversation today, and you've got some little nuggets of wisdom there from Zai that you can take away and implement or ignite something that will help you take that next progressive step forward. If you would like to find out a little bit more about how you can supercharge your success, then click on the link below so that you can see when my next events are running. If you enjoyed today's post, then please do share it with friends that you think would be interested to also see it, and please do tune in for the next series that I will be releasing. I see you then. Bye bye.